Anyway, let me get to my last review for tonight, which is continuing my journey in the Dark Knight, Legends of the Dark Knight run. So, as usual, give my little background on it that I give each time in case there are new viewers turning in to the reviews, especially when I turn them out. But I've been going through the run of Legends of the Dark Knight, which started in, was it 92, 91 or 92? This is after Batmania of 1989 hit, and a lot of people wanted to go to the comic shop and read Batman comics. And they found that it was, people were picking up the Batman comics, but whether you were looking at Batman or Detective Comics, these were continuities already in the middle of a story, So that was hard for people to get into. And they didn't always want to buy some big graphic novel. So they created this whole new run that was stories of Batman early on in his career. That was the first caveat to Legends of the Dark Knight. And the second descriptor was that there wouldn't be any major superhero crossovers. So you didn't really have to know a lot about the DC universe overall. It was just a really good jumping on point for new readers who just wanted to read some Batman comics. And they're really great stuff too. We started out with Denny O'Neil and his run. I keep wanting to say Prey, but it's not Prey. Prey came later, which was great. So we read so many great runs in this. This time around, I'm up to issues 39 and 40, which are by written and drawn by Brian Talbot. And this is a really cool little 2-issue story arc. It's called Mask. And the cover to the first issue really tells you everything you need to know there. The gist of it is that Batman wakes up in a hospital being told that he's a delusional homeless alcoholic who stitched this costume together out of rags and whatnot that he found. And he has these episodes, dissociative episodes where, he had such a horrible childhood on the streets and whatnot that he's created this persona for himself to be Batman and trying to empower himself in some which way. And he wakes up and he looks different. He's got this grizzled, gruff on his face. His hair's his muscles aren't, what they should be, what he remembers as when he's Batman. And he's there for some weeks in this hospital bed. Nurses and his psychologist is coming in and seeing him. And he's having a really hard time. After a while, it's like, no, could this possibly be true? No, I know it. I'm Batman. Could this possibly be true? And he's listening to news and he's not hearing any news about a Batman or anything like that. And of course, this is the actual Batman, the iconic Batman in the DC universe. So we know by the end, it's something's happening. He really is Batman, and that's the truth. But going through this challenge, he faces the journey that he has to believe in himself no matter what. He's got all these voices coming and telling him, you're not as cool as you think you are. You're not strong like you think you are. If you could really see yourself the way the world really sees you, you'd realize what a joke you are. You need help. Accept that you're not fulfilling any kind of grand role in the world. Just accept it and, go through these stages and whatnot. And he has to just learn to believe in himself. And this nurse shows up and showing some compassion. And, she tells him at one point, believe in yourself. So he knows that there's cracks in this and go. And of course, in the end, it is this villain. I won't give away the details, but because it's not an Elseworld story. It's the real Batman of the DC universe. So obviously he's really Batman. By the end it's going to be some sort of villain playing this sort of joke on him. But I just like that sort of meta commentary. This is the kind of inspiration I draw out of hero stories in my Heroic Inspiration series. I'll be putting out the first 3 next month. And this month, February, this in a couple weeks, the first one will come out on Amazon Kindle. Once I've put out a lot of them, I'll compile them into a hardcover, but that might be a year or so before that happens. And the Kindle reads are just going to be like $3 or something, for each chapter. The first one will be the DC Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And that's just volume 1. I'll do more Superman, Batman, and Wonder Womans down the line once I've covered some Marvel and other characters as well. But this is the kind of inspiration that I look for and draw out of stories where the story can kind of teach you a message about believing in yourself in this story's instance. I will say that story-wise, it should have been told in longer than just 2 issues because the reveal does get a little rushed in the second issue, but it's still well done. It's not missing anything. You just feel like the story should have breathed a bit more. That's a common critique I have with these runs, which it isn't really the writer's fault so much as it is just the with the comic line, they would just give writers, unless they were really tried and true writers or somehow they were able to get a 4 or 5 issue, run. Usually it was 1 to 2, maybe even 3 issues, and depending on the really cool idea the writer might have had, that might just need not enough space for the story to breathe properly in terms of pacing and whatnot. So there was a slight bit of that in here, but otherwise I really do recommend Batman Mask. It's a great inspirational story. It's Batman choosing to believe in who he is, and of course the world needs him and so forth. And drawing on his past, everything that went on in his past, there's a lot of psychology in this. They get into the Jungian idea of the mask. The story's called Mask. It's really great. It has a great message in that. So I do recommend, if you're a Legends of the Dark Knight fan, this is issue 39 and 40 of the first run, and this is pre-silly New 52 garbage. This is good stuff. So I recommend that as well. I'll continue with my journey through the Legends of the Dark Knight as I'm going, and then I'll also give a review of Batman Second Chances once I finish reading that this week too.